Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 818, we're going to talk about Wydwen, the Biting Gale, all the way back from Lorwyn block, I do believe. 4 mana, we get a 3/3 Flash Flyer. Back then, a lot of the fairies had Flash and Fly. It's a fairy wizard. 2 mana, a life, and bounce Wydwen to your hand. That is beautiful in Commander because that way we can avoid that Commander tax. If it's in our hand, we can pay, we can pay retail for it every single turn. So this is Tribal Fairies. It has been a long time since I have done fairies. Una was quite a long time ago, and I think Una was maybe more concerned with milling than anything else. So here we are. Speaking of Una, since I did mention her, we'll go ahead and show the card. Una is present. Now, let's look at our ramp or color fixing. There's not a lot because fairies do tend to be kind of on the cheap side, except for Una here. We have Sky Diamond, Dimir Cluestone, Commander Sphere, and the Border Post. That's it. Now, let's look at our actual fairies. Okay? We did have some new ones that came out in the, Throne. I realize Throne of Eldraine is no longer new, but it has come out since I have built the last fairy deck, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, we have Sea Sprite. Holdover from the last deck. I do apologize, this is the 5th deck with blue in it in a row, but it just happens that way sometimes. Briarberry Cohort, Una's Blackguard. There's accidentally a lot of rogues. Nectar Fairy, Spellstutter Sprite. This is really good. It's a recurable counterspell if we have a way to bounce it back, and I think we do. Hypnotic Sprite, the new Adventure Fairies. Fairy Vandal, Fae of Wishes. Now, I know that the granted part of it does not work. You can rule 0 that if your group wants to. We just never have addressed it. I don't, to me, it's another fairy creature, Nightveil Sprite, Eye Collector, Una's Gate Warden. Now, I like this one. It's kind of like my Fog Bank slot in there. It doesn't attack, but man, that face looks really, really familiar, doesn't it? Anyway, the Wither is enough to determine people, to deter them away from attacking you. Hee hee. Nightshade Stinger, Tome Raider, Dewdrop Spy, Thieving Sprite, Pestermite. Yeah, there's no infinite combo here, but Pestermite does take part in a lot of those. Fairy Swarm, Fencer Click, Dream Spoiler Witches, just a flash flying Sentinels of Glenlander Pranksters. This is the beautiful part here. This is the one that you want to return the Spell Stutter. When you play a spell during an opponent's turn, you may return target creature you control to its owner's hand, so you can Spell Stutter every turn. Thornwind Fairies going back to Urza block for Plinking Fairies. Fairy Harbinger, Final Sting Fairy, Latchkey Fairy, Weatherseed Fairies. I'm not going to count, but I wonder how many times in this video I've said the word fairy. Anyway, Inspired Sprite. I like the Notorious Throng. Yeah. If you dealt damage with a rogue, sure, Night Schemers, Puppeteer Click. What about the new Nimrus from Commander Legends? Also flash flying. Have a few, what I felt to be fairy type cards like Glamour Die. One color word with another. This is because protection is so popular or what have you. Nobody Nobody sees Glamour Die coming. Even, and this one has retrace, so you get to recast it. Back in the day, there were some tribal cards. They told us that they'll reprint the tribal cards, but they're not going to add any more. And then as soon as they say that, they print Modern Horizons that has more anyway. I think there's a new set of rules for every set, or just an evolving set of rules for every set that they use. Anyway, Pepper Smoke. We have Fairy Tauntings. I mean, it kind of had to be in there, right? But then, this one's kind of mean. Declaration of Naught. This is a card that a lot of people don't know exists. Name a card as it comes into play and counter target spell with that name. Now, I will tell you that it is... you can name someone's commander and never let them play it, but don't be surprised when they come for you the next game, or even that game. Yeah, it's... but that's a very fairy thing to do, right? Call to the Kindred, because we are tribal. Sealed Fate. We're in the colors. I like the card, and this is actually where they got the Fate Seal mechanic from. And Aura Flux. I realize I'm all wonky here. I haven't done card draw removal yet, but Aura Flux. I had 2 copies of the same card in the deck when I went to go list it on Archidekt, and as you list on Archidekt, it checks for those things, and it flagged it, and I literally had Aura Flux laying on the desk here, and I was like, I don't have that many enchantments. Enchantress decks are really popular now, and whoa, this can kill a bunch. Because it's each other enchantment. It does not tax itself. So, yeah, we've got, what, 3 or 4? But, this is hard to deal with. Anyway, let's look at some card draw, shall we? We have Impulse and Diabolic Vision, more card filtering than anything else, you know. Winged Words, Read the Bones, Advice from the Fae had to be in there. Distant Melody, same thing. I specifically wanted this art. And Factor Fiction. Is there another art for Distant? I'm sure there is. And then we have our removal, which is where a lot of the black comes in, you know. We do have our typical counter magic, the Spell Pierce counter spell, and gotta have the Fairy Trickery, right? I mean, we gotta. But then, Drown in the Lock, Pax Disdain. I figure since we're doing tribal, we might as well do tribal. You know, with Pax Disdain, to Witch's Vengeance, things like that. Doomblade, Tragic Slip, Murder, Violet Paw. I mean, it is a fairy instant. And then Vonus Hunger. Now, Vonus Hunger, it's not real hard to get 10 permanents in Commander, especially when you're playing a low-to-the-ground deck like this. I'm just saying. Yeah, each opponent sacrifices half their creatures. See, that's almost what that says to me. I'm not going to play it if I don't have the City's Blessing. And then we have our non-basic lands. We have Ice Tunnel, Vivid Creek, Fairy Conclave. I mean, you saw that one coming, right? Turns into a fairy. Rogue's Passage, Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, Command Tower, Dimir Guildgate, Dimir Aqueduct, Juaral Refuge, Submerged Boneyard, Mistvault Bridge, Temple of Deceit, Fetid Pools, Clearwater Pathway, Tainted Isle, Dismal Backwater, Thriving Isle, and more. And then our Reliquary Tower. And that is Wydwen, Tribal Fairies. Now, I know there are a bunch of, like, obviously if I had a Bitter Blossom, it would totally be in there. But, that is what we have got for 818. So let's go put it on the wall, shall we? And I, once again, I do apologize with 5 blue decks back to back. I don't, currently, as of me recording this, I have no more decks to be filmed, so I don't know what the next ones are going to be. It's possible it could continue. It's possible that it doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. Because, like I said, I record this way before y'all see it. So, anyway, I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. And if you're liking, or if you're watching this deep, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Anyway, that's what I've got for today. We're going to go ahead and shuffle and cut.